why don't you just like first introduce yourself and tell me why you even reached out to us?
I guess one of the biggest reasons is that mm, there's not much awareness about borderline personalities. I don't know about the world, but specifically in our country. Um, and when I got my diagnoses, my parents were very confused. I think I was about 22, 23,
Hmm?
roughly. Um, Before that, of course, when I was in college and I was 28, 19 or 20, I had my first breakdown of sorts. Um, and we went to a therapist, and they said that there was no hope for me. Um, and yeah, this is how she's going to be all her life. And that really broke my parents. There was no diagnosis handed out in terms of she has BPD or she doesn't have BPD. But that's when I realized that's the wrong therapist for me. If they are telling my family that there's no hope and this is going to be the pattern of my life. Um,
I want to say that the same thing happened to me. With my parents, I went to someone and they told me I had no hope. And I also had your response. You're not the right person for me.
yeah,
Were you almost
I,
more, were you more like they're not the right person for me, but your parents were more distraught? Is that how it went?
I think my parents, they're old and because of the generational gap, they didn't know much. So they basically were believing whatever somebody in a lab coat was saying. Um, But I realized that I can't give up without a fight. And if this person is telling me that there's no hope and I'm just 20, there's something really wrong. And yeah, I mean, we tried to look for another therapist. Then in the next 2 to 3 years, there was another breakdown. And luckily, then I found a good mental health organization, one of the best in India. I think there was a little more understanding that my parents got from them. They were the ones who handed me my BPD diagnosis. I think what I've realized over the years is that there's just so much confusion about what borderline really is. Um, I know I manifest symptoms that may be characteristic of, say, bipolar or just being extremely depressed, but that's not it. It's deeper than that. It's more than that.
How do you know that's not it? How do you know that's not it? I'm trusting you, but I want to know why you know that.
I know what emotional dysregulation looks like because I've been in therapy for nearly a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's that, and it's not just depression. It's not just a bipolar episode. It's it's deeper
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot more. And I think it's also when I got married and my husband had a lot of questions. And he was like, what is this really? And even today, he has a lot of questions about what exactly happens in my head. And I was looking for a lot of resources for him, which is where I came across the channel. And I was like, you know what? I think I really relate to a lot of this. I think you will relate to a lot of this as a caregiver. So I felt good about that, that, okay, finally, there's some resource which actually talks about how I feel, which
Mm-hmm.
I can relate with. And yeah, that's why I reached out to you guys and I was like, I think there's something more that we can do given everything that I've been through.